Ancestors, it's been a long month. So far, it has been a very long month. It can be overwhelming as we try and put together all of these things that we've come to study and learn and practice out over the year. And when things are happening in our lives, it can be very hard to attempt these new habits. But we ask that you help us in this time. We ask that you stand by us. We ask that you give us ideas, help push our intuition so that we will in the moment know what to do. That's different from what we've been doing in the past. That helps facilitate the change in our lives. And even though we can't see it, motivate us to keep doing the work that affects that change. Motivate us to keep the house clean, to stay in our center. Motivate us to keep doing our work and not be stagnant. The gateway of NeferAtum is one of the hardest gateways because it doesn't have such a direct path as all of the other ones do. So we ask that you help us make this gateway not feel so much as an end, but as a beginning, as a new start here for these last few months of the year. We commit to our own wellness, our own growth, our own connection with you. And we thank you for all the ways that you've been helping us so far. Ashe. All ready for our sacred movement session today, which we're going to be dancing to a song on the Sacred Woman Medicine CD. You can go to queenafwa.com or call if it's not on the site, because sometimes it gets sold out. But they always hook you up if you just give them a little call. This song is the NeferAtum, the Lotus Woman song. It's about 9 minutes, so we're going to be putting in work today. Okay, so now you see why I was like, I need to be all ready for this, comfortable and ready to go. So this song has 4 parts that we're going to be doing together. So the first and the last parts are going to be freestyle dance. They are very calm, flowy, generally lovely songs. And then we go on to there's the songs will switch up, the tempo will switch, the music will switch. You'll know. Okay, so that's why I'm being a little vague, but you'll know. Okay, so you're going to, in the first part, you're gonna make your pose, whatever that is. You're gonna freeze when it's done. You'll know it's done. This music will stop, and then you'll hear the song will go dun dun dun, and she'll be chanting. They'll be chanting. You know what I mean? Like the music will dun dun, and then they'll start chanting the names of the guardians of the gateways. And so when you hear the first, you're going to come into our falcon pose. So one foot is up, our arms are out, open, ready. We're a bird ready in flight, ready to receive, ready to go forth. She'll repeat it, dun, and we will go again, listen to the chants, and then again, when it happens the third time, we open, and we are going to move in this position until it is finished and we are in a goddess pose. So that is the second part. The second part is very short. It's like maybe a minute long. Then we will, for the third part, come up, and this is the part where we're actually doing womb yoga move. So you walked yourself up, you were just in your goddess pose, that one ended. It was very obvious when it ended, and then the music starts again. And so this part is more like, is more singing, so it'll be Ujjasanev. Okay, so we're gonna hear that, and that's gonna be repeated pretty much the whole time. Okay, so for this next part, we're going to start with the womb protection. We've done this before in some of our womb yogas. So moving, you can do it slow, you can do it fast, just move with the music, and also your body. So you may be tempted to like go all out, but maybe today's not that day. You're feeling like just chilling out a little bit more. So, move intuitively with yourself. So we start with this, and then whenever she says Ujjasanev, we are going to either reach up and then down, or however you feel, you can reach down and up. So that part is symbolic of inviting the spirits and the ancestors into your life down here on earth, and offering yourself and your work to the higher good as well. So we'll be doing that. And then we repeat the other way, and we'll end up over here, the same thing. Then we will be moving our hips in circles. We'll be also dancing in a circle. And then again, and again. And we will, so we repeat all of them twice. Then you will sow your seeds. And then after you do that one twice, we will be, burying the seeds, caring, tending, putting that love and energy. And this move can be with your hands. It can also be with your hips, and it can be with both. So then we do Ujjasanev again, and for the final part, we will be doing, let me think. Oh yeah, so you will be doing the drum call. I think that's what we call this move. Yeah, the drum call, the four-corner drum call. So you'll be doing a circular motion. You lift your foot in your arm, and you come down into your other hand, and we're moving in a circle, and then you will do the other way, right? And in between each Ujjasanev, and then after that, it is a womb movement for the count, and you can go back, or you can just start over again. And only do the womb movement for yourself. And you can also just freestyle, obviously. I just know that we like to incorporate the movements, and then also when the movements symbolize things and we're all doing them, it can create, that wonderful energy of us all working towards the same thing symbolically with our movement, which is so beautiful, and I like using movement in this way because, you don't need anything else but yourself in music if you have it, but you really don't need anything else but yourself. And so yeah, that is it. Then after that, you would go back into your womb protection and into the circle. Sow the seeds, cover, plant, tend, and in our drum call. And so then after that, the music will come to an end. As the music starts to fade, then you just go into, start transitioning into doing your own thing. Obviously, be making this your own this whole time, and start to transition, wind down, because in the last couple minutes of the song are again a little slower in tempo, and we will just be intuitively and freely moving to that part as well. So I hope this makes sense. And let's just get started. Before we start our sacred movement, I thought we would do some fire breaths. Remember, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose rapidly. Our stomach is full. Our breath goes in, our stomach goes out. Our breath goes out, our stomach goes in. We'll be trying to keep time every 50, we're only doing 100 with my little chimes here, but I'm real with y'all, you know, I'm not the best with keeping time, doing it myself, all that stuff. I would just do my best there. 3 cleansing breaths. Sorry, I fumbled, y'all. I'm like, I've been trying to get back into the habit of fire breathing because I felt like I was starting to get constricted again. I was like, dang, that happened so fast, so rapidly, you guys. The deterioration. No, but I'm sure there's reason for all this. So, and I'm pretty sure it's stress. Like I said, like a lot of stuff has been going on, and when I get stressed, I get like real tight in my chest. So when I say rapid deterioration, I don't mean like you know when they give that, they feed a pair of lungs like a whole pack of cigarettes, and it's like, oh, that was rapid deterioration. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more like, you know, when your stress starts to really hurt your heart, and so you're like, I need to, not only do I need the deep cleansing breaths, but I need to like open this area up and like stretch it out for a second. So that was the best way I could think of to do that recently. And anyways, without further ado, let's get on with this dance.
I am the woman who lightened the darkness. I have come to lighten the darkness. It is lightened. I have overthrown the destroyers. I have adorned those who are in the darkness. I have been made to stand for those who weep, who hide their faces, who sunk down. They looked upon me then. I am that I am. A woman. I am NeferAtum. And I am that I am. I am the light. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes I am. I'm unlimited, divine possibilities. I am that I am, 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 that I am. I am pure at a place passage that is great. I am pure, I am
Seket ra asht aru meti he ha keru. Ra asht aru meti he ha keru. Seket ra uset hat. Seket ra uset rawatu int pehui seres ra.
I am that I am.
Rawatu int pehui seres ra.
It's time for our Dinker studies. Oh, my shirt, I feel like, doesn't look as white or cream. I guess it's like an off-white anyway. But it looks very tan when I'm looking at the video. But it's supposed to be white. I'm trying to get creative and pull out all the white things I have. My doula gave me this shirt. She did. Her husband is Mexican. But he was like a little too small for the shirt. So she passed it on to me. And so I brought it out. It's this beautiful embroidery for this month for NeferAtum. I wanted to I only have like 2 white dresses, but I'm really excited actually because I have made merch for Spiritual Black Girls, and it's got, the botanical drawings of the different herbs and plants that we use for conjure and other aspects of spirituality that Black folks participate in, and religions, of course, that Black folks participate in. So there's cinnamon and camphor and tobacco and Hi John, of course. I have one coming in that has a white background. So it's like, it's white, and then I will have like the green plant or whatever colors the plant. If it has a little flower, it's got a little color to it. And so I'm excited because that will add a little white to my wardrobe, hopefully. Add a little white. Maybe I'll be wearing a little something different for you guys to see me soon. But anyways, I hope wearing white has been treating you well. You've been able to try and incorporate white into your wear. And it can be as simple as just wrapping your head up in something white. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's like a way to make a head wrap out of a t-shirt or something, cutting it up, sewing something together. I don't even know. I'm just like designing in my head right now. That's what just happened. I'm like trying to like take mental note of like all my husband's white t-shirts. Like, can you spare any? So let's see. I have for our no, this isn't our last part, but this is a 2-part, right? We have the 42 laws and we have our Dinker card study. This is going to be our last 42 laws, and then we only have like a couple more Dinker cards, and then we'll have to find something else to study. I don't know. These videos get shorter and shorter as the year goes on because the beginning of the book is, so tense and dense, and like you gotta explain stuff, and it's talking about trauma. You can't just say a sentence and be like, and there you go. You gotta say something after that. And so, it takes a lot longer at the beginning, but we're starting to, get to the end of the material. We're starting to get to the point where we understand what things mean when we say them. Hopefully you're, either you're going back and like watching as you go with this, or, you have some kind of plan in place. You have the book perhaps that will definitely help. I wonder if the Queen of Fua book is a book that will ever get to the point where we're gifting it to each other, like old used copies. I feel like, okay, you can get a used copy of Women Who Run with the Wolves super easy. But I feel like Sacred Woman is like a book that people buy and they keep on their shelf. They're like, no, this doesn't go to anywhere. It stays here. Like, I don't touch it usually, but it's there just in case. So today our Adinka card is Sankofa. You probably already know this one. It's very common, very popular. It's usually it's a myth expressed as a mythic bird that flies forward while looking backward with an egg, symbolizing the future in its mouth. Okay, and so Sankofa means go back and get it. It means, you're looking back to see what's important to bring with you in the future. It's, what's what we're doing with African traditional religion today, right? We're looking back to see what's important, and we're also moving to the future, right? We're also doing new things. There are new ways to express yourself, new ways to learn, new ways to grow. Everybody's finding their own, way to be, and I think that's so important. I think that's so, so important. So anyway, maybe if I put this here, you'll see it. So let's read. And it's an important one too, because they made it a black card. All the other cards are like white. Most of them, there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 cards in the whole deck. History, the importance of learning from one's past. The card signifies the importance of returning to your source to claim what is yours, right? So that is what Sankofa is. It's your birthright. You're not just going back and getting whatever. You're not just going back and like stealing from somebody, right? You're going back and getting your birthright. You're claiming what is yours. Take time today and each day going forward to learn about your history, your ancestors, your lineage. So, I mean, this could be as simple as just talking with your ancestors. Do you ever just get a feeling about something, or just, feel like you know something about history, and then, like, come to find out you were right, and, like, nobody told you. I mean, your ancestors told you, but, I mean, you can't, verify to other people, hey, like, this is how I knew this thing, but you can be, pretty damn certain, like, your ancestors, if they're wrong about something, usually it would be, I would say, that was how they read the event, how they experienced it, which is, like, more than often than not, that's just, that can sway people's memories. I've been watching too many memory episodes, like things about memory on like YouTube and Netflix. Now I'm just like, you can't trust people's memories. No, but for real, like, it does, start to change right when it gets in our mind, and like our mind starts to apply symbolism and knowledge, and I think that's really cool. I think that's like an effective way to, digest knowledge and what's going on around you, and everybody has a unique way of doing it, and your ancestors did too, and that's like why it's so important to have that little conversation, see what's going on. But you can also, commit to reading, maybe. I want to say it's like archive.org, and it's free, free books, like somebody on my Facebook pointed me in that direction, and I've like never been the same since. It's been awesome. So, go on there, choose a book, maybe written about a certain ancestor that seems interesting, or, about a subject that intrigues you, and commit to reading a page or two every day. Keep the tab open and scroll down and read it every morning. Read yourself like a couple pages. I think that, it could be a highly effective way to just, connect with the ancestors, learn a little something. Maybe, commit to like looking at certain, pictures, commit to, talking with certain people. Maybe you have really specific goals, maybe commit to start trying to take that one step at a time, whether that's a goal to, get initiated, learn more about a religion, connect with certain people, etc. Because, just reaching out to one person and then, like, never trying again, because it's like, oh, they didn't respond for 3 months. Well, it's like, what were you doing for the last 3 months? Like, just waiting on this random person who, like, that may be an old email or something. I don't know, you got to be more proactive. You've got to definitely put some effort into, what you're doing as these damn ads. To what you're doing as you're trying to get to your goal, right? You don't just want to just let things happen to you and around you. So they said explore the unknown. Your ancestors do want to share information with you. Talk with them, listen to them, try new things. If you have like certain impulses that do seem connected to what you're interested in, what your goals are, take those, chances. Take those moments and go forth and try. All right, we also have celebrate your unique history. I think that part is also important because a lot of times, We forget how detailed and nuanced and interesting our own personal unique history can be. And even if you only have vague information to go off of, general area, um, that's still a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you can still get a lot of general information, just from what's available out there. The internet's a pretty surprising place. Books, people were using those for a really long time. So a lot of times people act like they're just so obsolete. You shouldn't even look at them. But it's like, no, people were putting some really great information. There's a reason why we're uploading PDF form every book that we can possibly find that's ancient, because it's valuable. It's valuable information, and we can make it concise and put it in an article, but nothing will replace getting to read that 5, 7, 10 pages on that topic, right? Like, nothing makes me happier than when I can just find that Google book that takes me straight to the page, scroll up and down and see it. It's convenient, it's easy, and it gives me that thorough information that I was looking for. Like like the other day when someone was saying, like, oh, the word yo is from Africa, and I was able to immediately locate the book in which it shows. It's like a translation dictionary, from a long time ago, that shows the word yo, ayo, all the different variations, all right there, exactly what they means the same thing as here. And so that was really cool. And I think, that's valuable, and we need to definitely remember that's around. So yes, celebrate your unique history, find, those little pockets of information that can really come to you and aid you, and because there's always stuff to learn. Like, people act like it's like, oh, I don't know what else to do, but there's always stuff to do. There's always stuff to learn. There's always something to be interested in. All right, so we have here, I will not plunder the dead. This is the final law from the 42 laws of Mott. She says, don't plunder the dead, y'all. And so what she means, I think, what this one means, what people mean when they said this, is to, again, we're holding what's sacred as sacred. We are honoring those who have passed. We're honoring ancestors. I think this is a form of ancestral veneration. And I also think it's a form of understanding, I think, of, societal structures, understanding of respect, understanding of use of certain items for certain things. And I think it's kind of a sign of, like, depravity when you're just kind of, like, ransacking people's, dead. It's like, especially when it's like, it's not your people's. This is like, especially, I think it makes me, this one makes me think of the way that, when you read a book on ancient Egypt about somebody robbing a temple, a pyramid, whatever, and it's like they're a grave robber, right? But then it's like, if you turn on the History Channel, you'll see white people all through the house. And they're called archaeologists. They're called, like, they're told they're preserving shit. And then they'll, and when they were doing it 100 years ago, that's what they were calling themselves, like, historians, or, explorers. They had totally different names for what they were doing, even though they were literally breaking into graves and plundering the dead to fill their museums. And, that's why there's, like, so much contention and so many battles going on between so many museums, and countries, because people are like, that's not what this is for. Who gave you that? How do you feel you have the authority to steal it and then charge me to see it in a totally different land? It's pretty, it's pretty horrific when you look at it. That's why it's really fun to see that scene in Black Panther in the opening, where he was just like, he took it back, you know, something that was from his land, from his people. It's like, how is this even here? Who who gave you this? How do you feel you have the right to tell me about it? You just charged me to come in here and tell me about my people, my things. So I do think, you know, it shows, it's like a level of depravity in society when plundering the dead is super normalized, and then plundering other people's dead for your profit, personal profit, though, is like, it's a whole nother level. I think that, you know, there just needs to be a better way. And I do think there needs to be better ways to bury people, to be completely honest. Like, I think, you know, most of the ways we do it is pretty wasteful. I love the whole, like, you know, they get into this little egg pod and it grows a tree, or, you know, you put the ashes right, or I don't know. I don't even know how all this works. I'll be real. Real. But there's a lot of, you know, eco-friendly ways to do these things, which I think are so important. And yeah, I think, you know, we need to rethink funerals, rethink death in America. That's something that also needs reclamation, right? A lot of us want to be like birth workers, and because it's fun and beautiful and all that good stuff, obviously. But I do think that having that ability to also facilitate death work, eco-friendly, and combine that with traditional methods, right? Because we're not going to be doing all the exact same stuff as our ancestors. So it is important for us to, you know, merge those two truths together for that balance, that mot. And, you know, going forward, we'll have ways to really honor the dead. That's you know, more traditional, but also more conducive to what the environment and the earth itself needs, and to our own pockets, because, you know, death is a huge business, unfortunately, here in the United States. So anyways, yes, that was our last law. Next week we're gonna just be talking at INCRA, and then instead of a chop break today, I thought we would have a water break using one of my favorite cups. Let me see about this. Let me see if I can show you. I walked by this cup in Starbucks like hella times. They sold me. This is years ago, but I really love this cup. It's so cute. It's so like Californian and sweet. So, I wanted to talk a little bit out of my book, Punani Proverbs. You can find this on Amazon. This is the colored version, so we got some beautiful colored pictures all up in here. It's, the section I wanted to talk about is called 2-Item Altars. So, in the spirit and honor of simplicity and minimalism and a shortage of space and privacy, I thought I would talk about these little altars, because I think that this, for sacred women, is a really beautiful, especially in the NeferAtum stage, is a very beautiful thought, because it gives you the idea of leaving things more sacred than you found them, leaving things, little sacred things for others to see, to inspire others, to inspire the sacredness and peace within others as well. So it's kind of like a form of healing work. So, it's, you know, it's easy to want to go big, large, wild, you know, profound, amazing, shock, you know, everybody, everything matches, it's amazing. And those have a space. But I think, you know, conveying a powerful message with just a few symbols is not as easy. As, you know, if you have like a bunch of things that are all, you know, the same color, the same vibe, they have the same, like, you know, thing, that's an easier thing to do than it is to, you know, convey a message of peace, love, understanding, etc. With just a few items. So I thought this would be a very cool challenge for each of us. So, the first one I suggest is an oil lamp and a sacred text. So this text could be your grimoire, your current reading, guidance card, a book written by the ancestors, Any reading that you would like to take more seriously, there you could put there with an oil lamp, and this could be a sacred space, just a nightstand or a side table that only has those two items, and has hopefully a chair or stool or something, a nice cushion to sit on and peruse the material by oil lamp light. The next one, oh, and also oil lamps are a little safer than candles and cheaper, much cheaper. You can just refill, right? And it will burn for a long, long time. Whereas your candle, it burns all the way out and it's gone. So you have to buy another one. So oil lamps are more convenient and cheaper in that way. Plus you can put things inside of your oil lamp, herbs, petitions, etc. So anyways, oil lamps, not only very traditional, but still very practical and useful, right? Not just to make your home look vintage and for you to look authentic. It's really actually useful to own. Wood and rocks. So the perfect outdoor and large-scale altar is the use of rocks and wood from the local area, arranging them purposefully and leaving a sacred space for others who could pass by. This can also be scaled down and brought inside to be rearrangeable on the altar space. So you could use little crystals and twigs and things. And I'm going to try and show you the picture. But what I really liked about these two pictures is especially this one. They took sticks. Like that looks like roots. But what they did was they took sticks and they put them all the way around this piece of wood that they had. And then on top of that, they have some rocks. So it's a very interesting piece of art that was made, on a pathway somewhere for other people to find. And then this one is like a stump with the rocks placed purposefully around it. Very interesting one. So I also have, two shells, keeping it simple, just side by side or maybe stacked atop each other, one inside the other. They can represent a word, phrase, or mantra. You can use the little bumps on them like prayer beads, and place the warm shells back in their place on the altar. It can just be a small shelf with only two shells, and maybe, you could put a candle there when you're working there, to add some sacredness while you pray at this space. So the petals of two flowers is a very temporary altar. But it would be very beautiful. You take the petals of two flowers, arrange them in a pleasing way, leave them in the middle of a path while hiking, in a clearing, on a bench, on the sidewalk, on the field of a local park. Would be really beautiful, right on the green grass where a little kid could find it, perhaps. And then again, this can be obviously in your own home as well. But very temporary, but very beautiful and inspiring to somebody who saw it, right? Make a little pocket of sacred space right there for somebody to pause and think about for a moment. And then I have two cups. Tie two cups together, the handles of the two cups together, so it's obvious that you did this on purpose. And you can fill one with water, one with dry food, right? That's an altar, that's an offering. You can also have one with special objects and the other with sacred tools, crystals in one, vignettes in the other. Use one for incense and the other for casting lots. The possibilities are endless, right? I think it would just be very beautiful to put, for the part with the crystals on one side, on the other side you'd put maybe little sayings, quotes, uplifting thoughts, and then on one side there's a crystal, but on the other side you could pick a beautiful saying and be uplifted by that. That would be a very beautiful thing to have at the front of your store or your home, right, for visitors and guests. That would be a very touching thing. So then we also have, I have here, that was the cups, right, and then up here is a little harder to see, but that's a little alcove, and inside of it is two items, a statue and an incense holder with incense floating up, lots of pieces of sticks of incense. So the incense, is on the side with the cup, and the inside is the little statue. So those are the two items, a statue and an incense holder with the incense to light right next to it. Simple, easy, beautiful, profound, right? Nobody would not know what that is if they came in and they saw this beautiful table with only a statue and an incense. That's it, right? Or a statue in a cup of dirt or earth. Easy, right? And then you don't even have to rebuy the incense. Citrus and cloves are another one. This one is, that old holiday trick, but you can make this into an altar by arranging the cloves into certain symbols, and words, even letters. Use a couple of them, put them in a bowl, and have them around your house to spread blessings during the holiday season. So you can also make a small mixture of powdered cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, allspice, anise, and orris root, and roll the cloved orange in that, and that will add up the smell as well. So that you've got like a lot of kitchen witching going on there. You got the smells, the aromas, the use of symbols, the use of the food. I guess that's green witching too. I don't even know. So that was the only one. That was it. Okay, so, and then at the end, of course, you got to brainstorm your own, because this is a workbook, right? So, I just wanted to share this workbook with you real quick in that little space, because I think that is such a fun way to think of, like, applying what you're doing to the real world, right? It's not something that we normally do, but it's also a way to start reshifting the mind. It's a little activity to reshift the mind and the purpose for these little things. So, thank you so much for joining my little water fest. I hope you're enjoying your trying to be sober. I actually totally forgot at one point. I don't even know if I already told you this in the last video. I all of a sudden on I don't know, the first Friday, I was drunk. Somebody brought over some Patron, and I didn't even think about it. I was just taking shots, and then I was 3 or 4 deep, and I was I'm supposed to be sober. Yeah, I'm supposed to be sober, but you forget things. Can't be too hard on yourself. So, but I thankfully have been doing a little better, and my period wasn't that bad, so I was really grateful for that too. That, yeah, because that's definitely a time I like to drink, is my first day of my period. I'm if I just take 3 shots, I could just fall asleep right now. So, anyways, that was all. That was all I wanted to talk about in this one. I hope that it's treating you well. I hope that this gateway is treating you well. This one's really overwhelming me, but at the same time, I'm keep going back and forth. It's at one point I feel I'm this is it. I feel really good, really solid. Oh, this is, a lot of things are lining up in ways they haven't lined up before. And then the next second, I'm feeling really insecure about it. I'm oh, too much is crashing down around me. I don't know if I have the, I need something. I need something to tell me that I'm doing right, because it can't just be a feeling that I'm coming into myself, So this month has definitely been a challenge, but it also has in a lot of ways been a blessing. So I hope it's, either been going better for you or about the same. You've been feeling the blessings along with the challenges, and you've been feeling the ups along with the downs. So at any rate, get ready, because we're going to be doing the initiation next week, or next video, I believe. We have only the initiation left to go. So, we're going to be doing a bit of a celebration, and then we'll be continuing our studies in November. So, this is our Sacred Woman Studies for today, and our Sacred Woman Studies is going to be a little different, because this part of the book, should I say, is just her talking about her initiation, which is a very beautiful, very personal story. However, it is very long, and there's no breaks. It's 4 or 5 pages of talking about walking through Egypt with her group of other initiates, as well as the elders, leaders, and others in the group, and the very deep and personal experience she had. And I highly encourage you to either borrow a friend's book or what was I gonna say, or buy the book yourself, or actually I can totally just put that on the Patreon, and that will be under NeferAtum. I'll just put those like 4 or 5 pages up. I don't think that's like a huge issue. So if you are part of the group, it's $1 to join, and you'll see all the PDFs and articles and other things. I put a lot of stuff up there for the Patreon people just who donate. The donations are for these videos, and for other ways that I help other Black women in the community. But this is all volunteer work, and it's definitely been a lot this year for me. But I'm very excited to start next year. I've got some plans for the Sister Circle. I also have plans for this channel. We have some changes coming to the channel, but I have some plans for the Sister Circle next year that I think it's gonna be like, yeah, yes. We're gonna be, moving into ourselves, moving into, our NeferAtum status. Our Condor Woman status is basically what, we're really talking about here. And, really just talk about what, we're going to be working on the mental, the physical, all of this. But we're going to be working on it in a little bit different way than the Sacred Woman Gateways, because we've already done that 2 years in a row now. So, it's time to move on. It's time to do something new. We're on page 362. I'm going to be starting with the part labeled Our Ancient Kemetic Heritage as Women, as well as the Ankh, a symbol of initiation. How beautiful. Everybody's always asking me, like, oh, where can I get an Ankh like this? I'm like, dude, I don't know. This is like an ancient Egyptian Ankh. Like, where do you think you're going to get something like this? I have no idea. That would be great. I wish I knew where there was somewhere where you could get an Ankh, because I think the Ankh is such a beautiful symbol that it really just almost transcends the Kemetic, necessity of it. I think it's come to symbolize so much more throughout the diaspora in general to people, especially here in America, that I don't know. That is one symbol that I will probably always just have around in my home. But other ones, not so much, Other Kemetic symbolism doesn't speak to me as much anymore. Though I have had really deep spiritual connections with that stuff. Everybody's, I think, journey is very different. So it just depends. It just depends on how, on where yours takes you. I always think back to like my Wiccan days and like chuckle, but then I'm also like, that was all I had, and it was really, it failed me in a lot of ways, because I would like just look at some things and be like, but then it did also validate me in a lot of ways, because I did feel like I had somewhere to turn in those teen years that I wouldn't have otherwise really had, So it was good that I at least had that, I think. And so I cherished that time and that experience. In ancient times in Kemet, Egypt, women were sacred. They were treated with great respect and reverence. They were lifted up. In the societies of ancient Nubia and Kemet, women were free. These African women were very successful in their own right. They owned property, stood side by side with their men in business and personal life, and were priestesses passing on spiritual wisdom. The lineage of the children passed through the mother. You can even see from the shape of the symbolic Ankh how the women of the time were viewed. She was represented as the top loop of the Ankh, supported by her king as the lower part. In this way, together they brought forth the future, our children, as a mighty nation. The Ankh was carried religiously by the king and queen and priest and priestess daily to represent our high order. The Ankh, a symbol of initiation. Ancient African queens, priestesses, kings, and priests thousands of years ago wore and carried the Ankh. The Ankh is the sacred symbol born from the African Kemetic people that represents the continuity of life eternal. Water, air, fire, earth, woman, womb, children, man, Ast, Heru, Asar. The Ankh is the perennial sign and symbol of unity. It unites all the elements and thus acts as a tool of healing. The sacred Ankh, key of life, calls us to remember the first African family, our Adam and Eve, the Divine Mother Ast, the Divine Father Asar, and the immaculately born child Heru, our cultural hero. In ancient times, we saw the Creator represented in both male and female aspects to serve as a model for divine balance throughout society. To put a woman down, suppress her, beat her, not only was considered a societal crime, but was above all a spiritual crime against the feminine aspects of the Most High dwelling within all women and men. The 42 laws of Mot were named after the female Interu Mot, who represented peace, harmony, justice, and righteousness. The laws were designed to establish for us a divine spiritual order for correct living. These laws are found written on the walls of ancient Kemet to this day, so that we will never forget the supreme natural law. Alright, so she spends the next several pages talking. I mean, look at this, y'all. I read this last year, but it was like, when I read it, I was like, ooh, this was a lot. And see, and then this is the last page. It goes, that was that brick of text, and then another bricks of text, and then some more bricks of text. So I'm definitely, I have like a quick scanner thing on my phone. I'm going to just scan it all on up. Scan it on up, send it on out. Scan it on up, send it on out. We'll put it on the Patreon, you'll see it. And I'll definitely tag it correctly. It will say it will say both Gateway 9 and NeferAtum, or, it will say something like that. So, you should be able to find it in the Gateway tags that I use. So, here's your assignment. We're going to have, I think, one more, and then we'll have another one. For the initiation, Sacred Woman Initiation. So I'm going to do another Sacred Initiation video. And last year's, I tried to go all, silly and all out. But this year, I went even more all out. You guys thought I was being weird last year. You thought I did a little too much. Being every gateway person of each gateway. Okay? Last year, this year, I'm doing it again. Okay? I'm doing it even more. So here's your assignment. Because if I'm doing all that, here's your assignment. Sacred Women. We're on page 369, your Sacred Woman 7-day initiation work. Transformative work. Write your Sacred Woman initiation speech in your journal. Your testament to what you have learned on this journey into the 9 gateways and how it has transformed you. Where are you now, and where are you ultimately going from here? Make your commitment statement sitting on and in your seat of the great divine Mother Mut Ast, sacred seats of spiritual power and high holy quality of wellness. All right, so I will leave a section in the video for you to say your speech, okay? And you will say your speech, and you will deliver that with power and conviction. Where are you now, and where are you going from here? What is all this been about? Why were you committing to being a sacred woman, a sacred bruja, a conjure woman? Why was it important to you to have that sacred aspect? Why was it important for you to have, to be embracing your power, turning your magic all the way on? Why is that something that you're trying to do right now? And why are all those little elements important to you? Where do you plan on taking this whole cumulative that you've rolled up into a ball and made into your own, power, into your own self, into the sacred self? Where are you planning on taking this now that you have it? Now that you have all this power, now that you have this knowledge, now that you've put in a lot of this work to build it up, what's this all been about? What's the end game? Where's it going? So that is what your speech should be about. Make it hard hitting, make it classy. You're being graded on this. No, you're not. But still, you should just, sit on your seat of boss, maybe at 4 to 6 a.m. and commit to, writing that down and being prepared for that moment when it comes in the video, okay? So, and this part is for you. This part is for you, for your ancestors, so they're on board, so they know that you're on board. This is the business plan, y'all. It's like, you know, in The Office when Michael Scott shows up to Nana, and she's like, man, he wants a loan for his Michael Scott paper business, and she's like, you don't even have like a business plan. Do you have any projections? What's your motto? Like, do you have anything? And he's just like, our motto is, we will help the best we can. If, something silly, like, no, you just made that up. You didn't prepare for this at all. So that's what this is. This is your business plan, projections, whatever. So that you're selling it to the ancestors, you're selling it to yourself. This is your speech. This is your moment of reckoning. It's beautiful. Reflect on each gateway and identify the greatest challenges that you experienced in each gateway. Pull out that journal, that womb journal. Hopefully you have your womb journal still from the beginning of the year. I still have mine. I've been writing in it. I'm actually really excited to go in and do my thing with seeing my challenges. I had actually had my main focus gateways for this year. Excuse my janky beginning of the book. Oh, I hate when I have to do all this. I had to rip it out. My kids drew in it, and but I tried to ignore it, but then I was like, I can't have this at the beginning of my journal. I can't. So now it's all taped up, and I don't know if this is better, but it is what it is. So my main focus gateways that I wrote at the beginning of this year were sacred space, sacred beauty, sacred words, sacred womb. So I think I did all right in some of that, and I think I fluctuated with others. I had my ups and downs. Some of them are downs right now. I'm looking around my sacred space, my bedroom right now. It's always the bedroom, though. I told you guys that this whole time. It's always my bedroom. It's this black hole where everything goes to die. I don't know. I mean, not to die, but, it's like the laundry, the little knickknacks, the things I don't want the kids to touch, this, that, and the third. And somehow it's just accumulating things. So that is what that is. But yes, please bust out your womb journals, and let's start journaling and write down each of the gateways, and spend some time on that. Which ones, and identify a challenge for each gateway, because you weren't perfect at all the gateways, right? I mean, maybe you were, maybe, that's nice, but try really hard to think of something you could improve, something that could have been better, something that, what was a challenge for you? Even if you overcame it, what was the challenge for you at that gateway? When was a time that you slipped up at that gateway? And acknowledge those times and acknowledge those challenges. She said, if you have your freedom shawl, that's next year, we're going to be doing our freedom shawl. Freedom shawl, we're going to spread it out and tell the story of each gateway. You can say, so this can be orally if you got your gateway thing, but I do think you should try and pull out your journal. But if you already made your shawl, I want to say congratulations. If you've ever made a freedom shawl for this, if you have ever done that from this book, congratulations. If you have not, which I suspect a lot of people have not, I suspect a majority of people have not. That's just real. I really just it's so glossed over. And when I did the journey through the gateways with Queen, I will tell you, doing the fasting, prayer, and because I'm on the West Coast, I had to be getting up mad early, like mad early, weekly, to get to hook up with everybody on the East Coast who was in my group. Like we would have like group sessions and stuff. I'm just saying, like, it was like a lot. I had to get up like hours before everybody else was up, or like it would be 7 a.m. over there, and it would be like the butt crack of dawn over here, and like no one else would be up. And then I also had the twins, so obviously that took it right out of me too. So I'm just saying, like, if you have a job, if you have anything else going on at that time, and you don't have like a sewing machine, I just think it's so many little items coming together that the freedom shawl, I'm sure, just gets blown right over a lot of the time by a lot of people. So that's why I really want to take the time next year to focus on that, to really make ourselves a freedom shawl that talks about our journey, that talks about what we've been up to. So talk about each challenge and how you turned each lesson into a blessing. Ooh, that's that conjure right there, right? How we're like transmuting our issues into something else, and we're using what we have to do it in a lot of these instances. It's powerful, and it's something we've been doing for a long time out here. As you take delight in your growth, embrace and appreciate your strides. Remember, with each gateway you have moved through, that you have gained new energy, knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. Right? Even the gateway that you struggled the most with, where maybe you even were just like, fuck it, at the end. I'm like, we're just gonna wait till the next gateway, the next video. Oh, this one's gateway's being open, I'm going to this one now. Even that, we have to be understanding that we still learned something. We still got something. We still, and it may take a couple more times trying to commit to that gateway before we really feel that progress, but there was still progress that whole time. The time has come to cherish and celebrate your experience in each gateway. Give thanks to the Interu for a safe journey, and proudly assume your seat as a sacred woman about to be unveiled. So yes, really enjoy this, reflect on it. You can do this orally, you can do this in prayer, you can do it in the journal, you can do it, make a video. I don't know, make a video for yourself for later. Just to have this reflection with yourself, or honest reflection of the gateways, your challenges, how you've overcome them, and what you've learned for the future too. You know what I mean? So even if you didn't quite overcome it, you know a little more for how to handle it in the future. Begin to contemplate the new name you want to symbolize your rebirth as a sacred woman. So if you have a name that obviously you want to keep, that's okay. If you would like to add a name, or if you would like to change your name, this is kind of a section that reflects on this a little further. Your new name should indicate your goals and aspirations. A name is traditionally given at your first birth, and now again as you are reborn, a sacred woman. For example, as you take on the quality of the Most High for a balanced, harmonious life, you may take the name of Mot. If you seek divine inner and outer beauty according to your growth and development, you will become Heteru and be spiritually empowered by the powerful sacred words that express the aspects of the Creator. In taking on an African spiritual name, it is advisable to go through a ceremony such as the one presented here, Gateway 9. This is because a name will draw a new level of understanding and awareness to you. Names are very powerful. So choose carefully. And I also would suggest not just choosing, a name of the Interu from Kemet, or any random god or goddess name that, especially if you have not much affiliation with. I just would suggest really taking the time to look into something that's unique to you. Yes, choosing like an ancestor or, even a god or a goddess, if that is, necessary, would be good, but just make sure something pertinent to you or pertinent to your experience, to your journey. That maybe there are parallels between you and this ancestor and you draw strength from that. That's even, I think, an acceptable form of, name switch. So just trying to give ideas that aren't necessarily one of the guardians or spiritual guardians of the gateways here in the book, choosing something else that is maybe more pertinent to your lineage, your experience, your personal life. If you, in taking on African spiritual names, it's wise to go through these ceremonies. This is because a name draws a new level of understanding and awareness to you. The name you choose will guide, inspire, enhance, and transform you. So before taking it on, seek counsel from an elder within your spiritual cultural order. Then you must fast and pray so the appropriate name will come to you through divine guidance. So if you have an elder to talk to about this, that would be wonderful. Maybe they can bless you with the name if you're comfortable with that, or they can bless you to help you find the name. They can give you that spiritual and emotional support at this time. Definitely, fasting, praying, talking with your ancestors, patience to see if it's revealed to you will all be vital to they'll all be vital to you finding the correct name, to you finding the one that is for you, and that you'll know when you hear it, right? Because you don't want to be super premature, just pick something for random and then later on you hear something, you're like, oh, and then you're you've got to change everything. It just looks like you're the type of person who's just changing your name. You wasted your initiation on something. So anyways, just be patient with yourself and really look within and without, because don't just be copying randomly. If it is a copy of a name, it should be something that is very spiritually connected to you, or that you really resonate with, that you'll never, not resonate with, that type of thing. They'll just, say it's like, I'm not, because that's, Heru or Ma is the only people you know what I mean? Or it's just what you saw here. So we have, she keeps going, sorry. Taking such a name is like putting on, you got it through the name through divine guidance. So she says, taking such a name is like putting on a crown. So wear it well. Represent your name well. Represent your family, your community with dignity and respect as you carry your name. Walk in the spirit of truth as the Creator blesses you through your name. Names are sacred. They tell your history, your past, your present, and your future. So be fully conscious and pure in heart, mind, and body as you receive your sacred name. Acquiring a new name is like being awakened, being born again, or coming fully alive. So a welcoming ceremony and rituals are very much in order as you take on this new life, this new responsibility to self and community, and above all, to the One Most High. So I think it's really important for you to just, take your time with that, especially if it's like something that you're interested in, is taking on another name or transitioning from the name you've been using to the name that you use as a sacred person walking in, your spirit, the spiritual journey that you're walking. Next, she asks us to pour libation of pure water or rainwater on the earth outside our home or onto a plant indoors, with offerings of prayer and thanksgiving to the Creator, your ancestors, your spirit guides, and then to your community and the needs of your community. That's so beautiful. I love that. Queen always knows, she remembers the core of it. She reminds you, she brings you back to it. She reminds you that this is, you know, that you speaking those words, just you pouring the libations and speaking those words is part of, you know, the daily ritual or the weekly ritual of being a sacred woman. It's part of the general ritual of being a sacred woman, not just like the pouring of the water, that specific act, but that moment of reflection, of thanksgiving for what's here, and of acknowledging your community's needs, the beauty that it provides and the needs that it has, and pouring libations and offering prayer and thanksgiving for them, but also prayer for them. It's a very beautiful way to, you know, be wrapping up this. But, you know, while we're doing our internal work, or changing our name, doing this initiation, you know, gateway initiation work, we're also reflective of the greater world around us. Record your visions. Each day of your preparation for initiation, particularly at sunrise while in meditation, you will receive visions from on high. So record them in your journal. Be prepared to share them at your initiation ceremony. So, you know, everybody gets this information differently, right? Some people see things, some people smell things, some people just think things, some people have, you know, just a really loud thought or a flash of like a movie or something in their mind. You know, not a movie, but you know what I mean? Like a scene. That's the word I was looking for. It's like something will just kind of play in their mind, a memory kind of. And everybody's different. And so I do think, you know, expecting to, you know, see a figure or something and have them talk to you, you know, that does happen to a lot of people, but it also doesn't happen to a lot of people. And you know, you need to be okay with how your intuition works, how your reception of information works from the ancestors, and however that is, however you receive it. Write down what happens. And you may not think that what's happening right at that moment is anything special, or, you know, is that even a message from my ancestors? Like, I don't know. But still write it down. Because I think as you go along and as you practice, months from now, you're going to look back and start to recognize patterns and start to understand either that you were on the brink of something, or you were even doing it, but you just didn't realize it yet. So anyways, that's what I have to say about the recording of visions. And finally, wear white clothes and accessories. For 7 days, wear white from head to toe for purity and spiritual elevation. Cover your crown for spiritual protection. So you do what you can. Cover your crown, wear white, maybe from head to toe if you can. If you do not have, you know, very much in that regard, do not stress. Just wear, you know, white. Maybe, you know, make yourself a necklace, make yourself like some kind of belt, a head wrap, just something to tie on your wrists, something, you know, very basic, very simple. White paint, you know, putting the dots on your face. I don't know. I miss that. I miss that so much. Anyways, that was a fun time in the Black community before everybody was like, that might mean something in Africa. I'm like, I guarantee white face paint, just random dot. I guarantee that's like not really any specific culture. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyways, you could just use, you know, some white face paint and or white eyeliner. I typically use that because I find it stays and my face can like stretch and stuff. But yeah, just put like a line across the face. That's what I usually do, of white or some other form of white. And then what I really love to, this is what I was going to say, I really love to do that. When I put that line of white on my face, first off, it feels a little different. And then second off, when I catch sight of myself in the mirror, it totally changes. Like my mood, how I'm acting. It's almost the same as when you glance in the mirror and your hair is done really well. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you're just kind of like, oh. And, you know, your shoulders go back and you're just like, that's me. And I'm like, yes, I'm about to go scrub the toilets or whatever I was about to do in this damn bathroom for some random reason. But like now I'm doing it with a sense of different energy. Yes, like, and then, when you leave the house too, like that, and other people catch sight of you, the energy exchange is definitely a little different. So anyways, that's like just a really cheap, easy way to focus on it without having to, change your whole wardrobe, or, bust out maybe stuff that doesn't fit or something. Just put that white line, or the dots. Use your white paint, or white eyeliner, and or it's like a liquid liner is usually what I use, but I'm sure the stick will work fine too. But anyways, I that was my little tip there, was, when you do something like that, and then you like look in the mirror. And then I also, it's totally faded, of course, by the time I do this video. I was about to do it again today, so by the initiation video I'll have my hands all hogwood up. But I also like to put the hogwa on my fingers, so that they're, when you look down and you see the black. And then when I do my nails, it'll be like a light pretty pink. And so it definitely, adds some flair and some a mood to everything that I'm doing. So with that being said, our NeferAtum Lotus End of the Week commitment is: I commit myself to establishing and maintaining the NeferAtum spirit of my sacred lotus initiation in all areas of my life. I commit to establishing and maintaining the NeferAtum spirit of sacred lotus initiation in all the areas of my life. Establishing and maintaining. So we are establishing it. We are seeing, what do I need to do to make this doable, right? If you're every day, you're like, I can't do this, we need to find the ways to make it doable. And I find that is how I've done better at sacred space as the years go on. Every year I think oh, this is not what I want, but I'm closer, way closer than I was the year before. This year is the closest I've ever been. I've never lived in a home with such little things, that if I am just be for even 3 or 4 or 5 days, it's not the most unmanageable thing to spend the day cleaning that up, because I can actually do it in a day, as opposed to having to clean one room of the house for a whole day. I've just had a lot of stuff, because that's how I was raised, it never occurred to me that I didn't need so much stuff until I started Sacred Woman. And her stuff with Sacred Space was just overwhelming, because I was I don't even have furniture. I was very young at the time. I was very young. Me and my husband were living bachelors, but we were married and little kids. I don't know. This is what happens when you marry young, but you don't have nobody, and then it's y'all don't have shit. And so that it's you're trying to do stuff, and you're am I gonna have to go around the damn neighborhood hauling dressers back here so that I can have some damn furniture? So anyway, yeah, establishing, finding that way to establish those things in your life, and then maintain them in a way that's conducive, that's not taking up way too much of your damn time, all of that good stuff. But yes, we should definitely do a cleaning video on here, a sacred space cleaning video, a real one though. When people actually are cleaning their whole house in the video, I should definitely do that with you guys. We should clean our house together sometime. And do the whole sacred thing. We'll spread some salt on the floor, sweep it up, and do all that. That's my plan for next year. We're gonna start doing stuff like that. Clean the house with me. Sacred space. You make your room into some sacred space again, from when it's totally fallen into disarray because life happens and we're not priestesses who just sit at home and make our house into our temple, right? We also have lives, jobs, families, needs that get in the way of all of that. So, it does happen, I think. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. I hope you get ready for that Sacred Lotus initiation, because it is coming up. And, yes, may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads. I will see you next time.